Hey, everybody, welcome to the very first podcast for Leadership Training Academy. We are going to be discussing each week all things leadership, instructor training in your schools, and how to flood your school with so many instructors you don't know what to do with.
That's quite a statement.
Well, it's a true statement. We've been doing this for a long time, and I have people, well, and this everybody wants, when do I get to teach my class? Or do you need help on this day or that day? And, always trying to find a place to fit people in, and that's a great problem to have. So this is proven. I know it works. You know it works.
Absolutely. So let's do a little introduction. Who are we? So, you want to start?
Okay, sure, I'll start. I'm Amanda Olson in Jessicus, and I have been teaching martial arts since I was 15 years old. I started when I was 10 years old, so a number of
When
years.
was that?
I started Taekwondo in Panama City, Florida in 1979, and I was 10 years old. So when I was about 15, that's when I really started, helping out with classes and, in a professional level, like actually teaching. Before that, I was the 12, 13-year-old that was holding the target and that sort of thing. But yeah, actually teaching, when I was 15. And when I was able to drive, I actually was able to run my own part-time academy after school. I'd drive there to Destin, Florida after high school. When classes ended, I'd go teach a couple classes and then come home. And I did that until I graduated high school and went off to college.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. Yeah. So a lot of the things I've done in the industry, working on leadership, it's really been a passion of mine to help people get where they want to go. And in order for people to succeed, they have to be leaders. Even if nothing else, even of themselves. So it's something that I've been doing for a while. And yeah, I'm 55 now, so you can do the math. A few decades been teaching martial arts. How about you?
Well, been doing martial arts since I was 4, and I was born into martial arts. This is my mom, by the way.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we've just grown up doing martial arts my entire life. Started with Taekwondo and started jiu-jitsu when I was Brazilian jiu-jitsu when I was 17 years old. And started teaching. I remember assisting and teaching as a kid, and then I remember being about 13 years old and teaching my first class.
Right.
The main instructor got stuck in traffic, and I believe you were teaching another class, and then I was the only person there to teach the other class. And so I was 13, and you were like, well, it's time for you to teach your first class. So I jumped out there. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was 20 years ago, and just been teaching ever since. So and then started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then started teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a few years after that. Now I've been doing BJJ for 15 years, 17, 16 years.
Yeah.
Doing some math.
Half your life.
My gosh, that's just crazy. So I love the martial arts. I love teaching. I love helping people, and it's grown into. I think when I was younger, a passion for like kind of purely the martial art, but that passion has transformed into helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the bigger picture of what martial arts can do for people, and benefit, from young kids to older adults.
Absolutely.
The confidence, the health, the fitness, the discipline. So just that's how I felt my passion transform in the last decade or so.
Right, and I think that that's something that a lot of instructors, would say. They start off training and loving the art, and then the next natural step is that they start sharing that with others. And if it's the right career choice for you, then you open a school or you work full time for somebody who owns the school, and that you're able to just share and train and do your passion. for a living.
Yeah.
So those are the people that we're really trying to talk to today is those of you who do this for a living, but you can't sustain teaching 4 or 5 classes a day, 5 days a week for too long.
Right.
Yeah, I've done that. Then there comes a time where you realize if I really want to do this, I have to multiply myself. And that's what this program is about, multiplying yourself. So, not, I still teach, 3 days a week because I want to. I don't have to. Certainly other people could do that, but I still love it. I love being out there with the interaction. So it's not about working yourself out of a job unless you want to, but getting people to learn how to instruct is so that you can have a stronger academy and even a more diverse academy.
Yeah. Well, let's jump in. Let's jump into what's the purpose of this podcast? Why are we starting this? And what are our goals? So, you want to start it off?
Well, I think the purpose we've mentioned is to help we help our students, and that passion is taking on the next level of helping instructors learn how to create their own instructors. We know how beneficial it is to the individual to learn those leadership skills and see them take off in other careers of their own, and knowing you had a part of that. And then also what it's like to have somebody choose this as a career for themselves and continue on, paying it forward and continuing growing your legacy. So that's really the purpose, is to for you guys to be able to recreate yourself and grow your school that way.
Yeah, and so the name of the program is Leadership Training Academy, and we're going to focus on. I think the vision started about 2 years ago, where we wanted to start helping. We see a lot of martial arts schools struggle with having enough help, enough instructors.
Absolutely.
And instructors and school owners, you guys know, and we've both been there at different times. You can have burnout teaching every class every day, and you just cannot, like you said earlier, you can't sustain that for too long. And so we're noticing just a lot of schools going through these issues, and we want to. We have a great system that's just been working in our academy
It's proven, it's simple, it's easy, and we've put it in such a format to where, our hope is that you would take this program and you could start it today, and you could start a great leadership program today and grow your instructor program. If you don't even have an instructor program, you could start one today. That's the hope.
Yeah, it's literally what our vision when we started to create this was, to make it so simple, so easy, just, basically being handed the program, and then not just you're the head instructor or owner, but any of your staff can do it. And that's
Any of your staff, or even your person that comes in and helps out once a week.
Volunteers.
Your volunteers. It's that simple to implement, starting at the junior level. And I think plug and play is a word or a phrase that may be overused, but it is exactly what it is. We wanted something that was plug and play. Now, we thought about, well, we could travel and train people, and we can certainly do that. That's part of one thing that we do offer. But to reach more people and to reach more people faster, it needed to be something that we could hand you and you could start. So that's what I really feel like we've been able to accomplish that.
Yeah, and I've had a few school owners be able to test it, and they've really enjoyed it and said that it's super simple and super easy to implement. Well, we've been doing this leadership system in our academy since I was a kid.
I was going to say, bring it back to when you were 13, because I was thinking, a lot of instructors, and you've done I'm sure school owners, you've done this to instructors, is the baptism by fire, just like you experienced. Oh gosh,
Right.
Somebody's not able to show up, you're going to have to do it. And, that's not necessarily what we want to do,
Right.
Make that happen. But because of the training that you'd received, as a child on into your preteen years and then into your teen years, you were able to make that work,
Right.
And, but you've been training since you had started your martial arts journey. And that's the same thing at the kids in our academy, So by the time they're actually old enough to hire, if that's what you want to do, um, they've had years and years and years of training, leadership training, and they can step in, and then what you're working on is just helping them mature, not necessarily all the, use a loud voice, stand at attention, make eye contact. These are things that they already practice innately.
Yeah, and we start the program at age 4. So,
Right.
I know some schools start at age 3, age 4. Our youngest program starts at age 4, and they learn the leadership lessons at age 4.
Right.
You know, maybe a little tailored to their age, but by the time they're 6, 7, 8, they can regurgitate, the tenets of Taekwondo, what they mean, and the different leaders.
11 and 12-year-olds who are teaching it.
Yeah, 11 and 12-year-olds are then assisting the younger ones, and then the 13 and 14-year-olds are assisting in classes and doing a good job of it. And you get parents that are, super impressed with our 14-year-olds that are, teaching 4, 6, 8, 10 kids at a time, and they're doing a phenomenal job at it. And they're like, where did you get these kids? Or they think they're 18 or 22.
Right.
They're really 14 or 16.
Right.
And they've just been doing it so long, grown up in it, and it's really impressive. But it starts. It can start at any age, but it starts from day one.
Right.
Age 4, age 6, 8, whatever. Age 50, we had. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Everybody goes through the system, and it produces a quality instructor that you can trust.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that is important to every school owner. We all want instructors that are teaching the classes and assisting in classes, leaders that are helping, who have the same value and the same vision that we do for our school. And I know each person has, a little different, what's a little bit more important than maybe another school, but leadership and having good instructors is important to all of us.
Yep.
And you can grow your own homegrown instructors this way, and you don't have to be dependent upon, wow, my school's gotten so big, I need help, I'm going to have to pull in from here or pull in from here. And sometimes that can work, but the majority of times it's kind of hard for it to actually work the way you want it.
Right.
Where you have that, there's an instructor here that's in her 40s, and she volunteers and comes in, and she teaches her own class once a week, and it's not her job, but she loves giving back and fulfilling, so it's not just the 16-year-old, but it's for all age groups. And I know that she's been with us long enough. She knows exactly how we want things done. She knows how to, teach in the same way. She's got the same verbiage, and she's not trying to change things and do it her way. And, so whether it's a young person or a more mature person, the program works.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do for those listening and watching, is help. We want to help. We want to help, show people, how do you get your school or your academy to a place where you just have tons of help, the energy is great, the vibe is great, and you're not pulling your hair out every day trying to figure out who's going to teach classes, and
Right.
Or you're exhausted. We've done a really good job with that, and the last few years just been so rejuvenated and energized teaching. I love teaching. But man, sometimes if you're exhausted, it can be a grind.
Yeah, and then you have the added thing of, you've started your school, you had all that, you got it going, and then maybe you also now you want to open another school, or you have a family and you want some family time, and you want to take a vacation, and you want to be able to be home before 9:30 every night, or not have to leave the house, be gone 12 hours, for a day, the first part of the day, working, getting to school, ready to go, and the second part is just killing yourself physically, teaching all the classes, and then by the time you get home, it's hard, so it's not just about not working at the academy, but it's about being able to have a life,
Right.
the balance of it all. So, and I have, in the decades that I've been in this business, I understand all of that, and looking at a instructor that's young with their school just started and it's busy and crazy and all this kind of stuff. I want them to be able to sustain that and grow and be successful and enjoy what a wonderful life I've had.
Yeah.
Teaching. So.
Well, we're going to dive into this, in our following podcasts, but, how we do that, kind of have it broken into some different systems. We have our junior leadership program, and that's the one where we have a full 52 video program with a written manual, and that the same quality lesson is getting taught every single time, different lessons, the different leadership lessons. But you know exactly what's being taught. If you can have your 15-year-old instructor, play the video for the kids, or memorize the video, or memorize the manual, and then play the activities that reinforce the leadership word, and so it's so simple, it's so easy, and so that's kind of the first part. And then the second part of our program is once they start getting a little older and they're ready to assist with classes, and how to have a reward system, volunteer system, a system to get to where they're paid staff,
right.
Part-time or full-time. And basically every step of the way, every process just laid out for you, so that it's just super easy to implement and follow.
And I think that because it's all completely laid out, that there's also a quality checkpoints along the way, so you have somebody who's interested in being an instructor. Well, here's how you go from here to here to here to here to here. So, you don't just jump out and start teaching, or, help me out a few times and then I'll see about that, and sometimes we get, I remember being that kind of, desperate, like I need somebody,
Right.
I need a 13-year-old to jump out there and teach. But with this program, you don't ever have that sense of desperation,
Right.
And that, he's at this level, he should be able to do that, or she's at this level. Yeah, we're getting close to being able to have your own class. Here's some things that we've got to do. But you have that checkpoint. The program is designed where you can keep people at those levels or move them forward. We don't skip levels. Everybody goes through, no matter what age they are, they have to go through the entire training
Right.
before they're able to get the reward. Or, I know every school has something different. What sets an instructor apart from a student, so however you have that in your school, you can implement it. It doesn't have to be our award system, give your award here, whatever that is.
Yeah. Another point to add to that is that this is all very intentional and focused. So we are constantly looking at the next up and coming set of instructors. Because a lot of the instructors, when they turn 18, they go off to college.
Right.
Or maybe in their early 20s, then they have a different career or something like that. But so we're always filling in the next set of kids or adults to replace the next set. And that's very intentional and it's done on purpose.
Right.
We don't just hope.
We don't accidentally get instructors.
No.
We definitely create them with a plan.
With the plan, and they love it. Like there's a girl right now. She's a teenager, and she's been training with us for about 1.5 years, and she's just been doing phenomenal. And I asked her to help assist, to begin assisting in one of the classes, and she lit up. She was so excited. Awesome. And so she started her assistant training, and she just fell in love with it. So I mean, people want to help, people want to teach, people want to lead. Not everybody, but that's why you got to always be on the search and on the hunt for your next.
Well, and I think the training shows you who that is, because you have the activities in the classes that they're doing, and the ones that are showing some real leadership potential. Yeah. And you're like, have you thought about, and then those that maybe they don't have it yet, but they want to, you say, okay, here's what we got to do. And you can set a plan. And, I am a true believer that leadership can be taught,
Hmm.
that becoming an instructor can be taught how to do it.
Absolutely.
You don't have to just hope and wait for that person who's full of charisma and, you know, has energy and everybody loves. You can help people learn how to be that person. And I've seen it over and over and over again. One of our instructors that is headed off to college, you know, when she was 14, she started working here and just so quiet and so timid and, you know, but she had already been through all the junior stuff and everything, and she just continued her journey. And I hired her because she is, you know, responsible and trustworthy and friendly, even though maybe she wasn't loud and, you know, kind of command presence that we work on at that point. But she continued with her training, and, you know, I hate to see her go because she's teaching her own classes, you know, and, you know, I have to have the next generation come up and do it. But I just see that year after year after year.
Well, when you see the potential and then you see the want and desire from the individual, and
Right.
that's what we saw from that particular instructor. And um, just like you said, as a junior, she went through the whole leadership program, so she was primed and ready, uh, to start leading. And then she, just like everyone, she had some things to work on. But man, like you said, by the end of it, she had her own classes that she was
Mhm.
teaching. The kids absolutely loved her. The parents loved her, and it was just so cool to see that transformation.
Yeah.
And if we didn't see her go through that, you know, I'm sure she would have done, wonderful or whatever she did. But we know for a fact now that she has the confidence and abilities moving forward, um, uh, in her career and school.
Absolutely.
She's gonna just crush it.
And that's
Yeah,
one of the goals, you know,
yeah,
that we have is helping people do the things they want to do.
yeah.
I would like to say too, probably as we wrap up here, the you know, you may be saying, I need an instructor now. I don't have 4 years to, you know, get them going. And there's sometimes where you have these waves where I've got so many and I don't have as many, you know, but there's always somebody there. But uh, have a boot camp, and that we just had 2 weeks of instructor training boot camp for that we invited all kinds of folks to that were interested in doing that. It's summertime, you know, so we had that. And I'll say they've done just a great job. But the boot camp, you and I didn't lead not one
That
class.
that's
You
what I
know,
wanted.
the instructors that we've trained, they're the ones that are training the next generation. You know, I work with them, and then they're working and building up those instructors quickly. And let's get on this, and let's accelerate the process.
Yeah, it's building that system. We do work with all the staff,
Yes.
um, but not all the time.
Mhm.
But we work with the top, and then that trickles down. And developing that system has taken a long time, and but now it's a well-oiled machine, and it's just working great. So, as you can tell, we could probably sit here for another couple hours. We're very passionate about martial arts. We're very passionate about instructing and teaching leadership, helping young people and older people, become leaders in the academy, gain that confidence. And that's what we want to share with you guys. We want to share with you how to do that, um, and in a simple ways, that weve been working on that you've been working on uh, your whole life,
Your whole life.
and my whole life. But so we're excited to share that with you
Yeah,
guys.
it's time, you know, to say, okay, you know, let's take it to the next level and let's help school owners recreate what we've been able to do here.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and if you got any other questions or suggestions or anything that you would like us to talk about, let us know in the comments, and please give us a like and a subscribe if you want to hear more content, or if you want to hear more tips and tricks, and just basically all the mistakes that we've made, and learned from and gotten better from and improved. And so yeah, let us know, and communicate with us.
absolutely, we'll be posting these out every week on our channel. And I would just like to wrap up and say, you know, as your school grows, whether you're just starting or you've been in business for, you know, 30, 40 years, having quality staff is one of the most important things. You know, you don't want people to quit because you had not a qualified instructor on the mat teaching the way you want to teach. And that's the problem that we're here to solve, is that you always have quality instructors on the mat. and you can trust them and know they're going to do it the way you want them to do it.
And to make your life easier, and increase the longevity of your teaching and leadership
And prevent burnout.
and prevent that burnout. So, okay, was that
That's-
you good?
I'm good.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody, and chatting with us. So, look forward to doing more of these and sharing our passion. And yeah, can't wait for the next one.